What is going on, everyone? Mets Talk with Hayden J here. What is going on, everyone? I hope we are all doing extremely well. I am most certainly doing well today. We got a little bit of an early stream for you guys. Definitely am excited to talk some Mets baseball with everyone. Definitely a little bit of an early stream than usual. But please, everyone, before we get started in today's stream, please, everyone, smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, tell your friends about this channel, and, of course, much more. But we got a ton of great stuff to go over in today's live stream. We are going to be going over the New York Mets and the Seattle Mariners series summary. We had some great stuff to talk about there. Then we are going to be transitioning into the New York Mets and the St. Louis Cardinals series preview. We got a good 4-game series set ahead for then. And then, of course, we are going to be going over all of your guys' comments, questions, concerns, anything related to the New York Mets and MLB. We have some talks of injuries with James McCann and Tyler McGill and a couple of other great things. So let's stop wasting any more time. I see we got 10 of you guys in the chat already. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Drop any comments, questions, concerns, anything related to, Major League Baseball, the MLB. It could be about the juice balls, the dead balls, the Mets, the Rays, the Padres, the Dodgers, whatever. Let's get into all that. I'm super excited to talk some Mets baseball with you guys. Super, super, super excited. So let's take a dive into game one and really talk about what went down in this series. So getting into game one, the New York Mets lost game one of this 3-game series. Unfortunate series, I will say, for the least. Getting into game one, we had Max Scherzer on the bump for the New York Mets, and Mad Max honestly pitched pretty adequate. Mad Max went 7 innings pitched, only surrendering 3 hits, a run, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. To be honest, valid appearance for Scherzer, throwing 98 pitches. The command of the strike zone was there. Gave up a little light contact every now and then, but hey, what pitcher doesn't? Following that, Drew Smith came in, and believe it or not, Drew Smith did the impossible. He gave up a run. He came in for an inning, giving up 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, hit, and his first run on the season. Incredible that this dude has went over a Baker's dozen innings and finally has surrendered his first run. Unfortunate, but hey, baseball. He wasn't going to go, immaculate for forever. Following that, Adam Ottavino came in, pitched inning, 2 strikeouts, quiet outing there. Mets offense was really dead this game. Their offense was really quiet. Started off in the first inning with Francisco Lindor hitting a sacrifice fly to center to bring in Brandon Nimmo, and that's all she wrote. In terms of some guys, Nimmo had a good day. Nimmo went 2 for 3. Nimmo was on fire this game. Otherwise, that was really it. The Mets only got, Nimmo got a hit, 2 hits. Marte got a hit, McNeil, and Nito. And otherwise, that was really it. Offense was very quiet. We weren't really able to draw much walks or anything. So, unfortunate, but hey, it happens. Unfortunately, Drew Smith is eligible for the loss. Unfortunately, could not bounce back. Getting into game 2 of this series, and I think arguably this was the most exciting game of this series. We had our friend Chris Bassitt on the bump for the New York Mets. And starting off, first, you had Mazika behind the plate. I'm not going to go all, crazy on Mazika. This was one of his first big games catching Chris Bassitt. Didn't really plan on catching each other a whole lot. And going into the first inning, you could easily tell that these guys had their complexities on communication behind the plate. They were having issues. They weren't really, I don't think they were using the pitch calm. So they were definitely having their fair share of issues behind the plate. It happens. Oh, well. But luckily, he was able to avenge himself, and we will talk about how he avenged himself much later. Following Bassitt's awesome appearance, going 5 2/3 of an inning, only surrendering 5 hits, a run, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Got out of many jams, bases loaded jams, and that's the thing about Bassitt is he is a very good pitcher when he's in trouble. He will put up good numbers. You can give him bases loaded, 1 out, he'll strike out the next 2, or put a ball on the ground and turn a double play. So phenomenal outing there from Bassitt. Following that, Lugo came in, looked a little iffy. 2 hits, 2 runs, a walk. Didn't like to see that out of Lugo. He was on a roll. Following that, Chasen Shreve came in, went 2/3 of an inning, a hit, a run, a walk, a strikeout. He got the full experience pretty much. Ottavino came in, only surrendering a hit, not bad. And Diaz came in to close it, striking out the side. Very symbolic, as you could say, for Diaz to pitch this game, to show that his against his former team that he is eligible. He knows how to pitch. And that, I guess, kind of saying, oh, well, you should have not traded me. So that was kind of definitely a funny moment for Edwin Diaz and the Mets. Definitely phenomenal to see Diaz really close out this game. I will say for the Leafs, Diaz has has really been looking very interesting so far this season. So hopefully, for the sake of Edwin Diaz, he can try and keep it up to the extent that he has. I will say the whiffs, the strikeout rate, Diaz has just been looking phenomenal overall. So kudos to Edwin Diaz, really stepping up. I mean, this dude has only given up 3 home runs this season, and keep in mind, obviously, I think only I want to say 3 of them were literally all when the Mets were up. Keep in mind, I think the first one was against one of them was against Varsho when they were up by 1. The other was against Harper when they were up by 4, and I think the other one was a couple nights ago. So I will say for the Leafs, Diaz has been really doing his job pretty well. So that was game 2 in terms of this Mets pitching staff. Getting into the offense, game 2, the offense was a little quiet. Okay, that's fine. It's going to happen. Offenses definitely go into their fair share of slumps. But getting into some of this Mets offense, my apologies. Let me just change my mouse batteries. Batteries seem to just keep dying periodically, so I do apologize about that. I know it kind of ranting off a little bit. Batteries just want to die on me because hey, why wouldn't they? So yeah, but let me just change my mouse battery. So please stand by for 1 second. Hopefully these are good. All right, we are connected. Once again, my apologies about that. My mouse has been very iffy. I do these on an Apple computer, and I don't know. I'm not super big on Apple now for some reason. I don't know. They've been very crappy these last couple of weeks for me. But we're not talking about iPhones and Apple. We're talking about the New York Metropolitans. So yeah, obviously Diaz came in very symbolic for him to really just get in through this game. Really does show a lot. In terms of this offense, we got things started pretty well going into the first inning. Francisco Lindor had an RBI single to bring in Starling Marte. Going into the third inning, Lindor had a sacrifice fly to right to advance Brandon Nimmo to score. In the third inning, Jeff McNeil had a sacrifice fly to right to bring in Starling Marte. He was this close to being gone. The dead balls were really killing some of this Mets offense. Going into the fifth inning, Pete Alonso had an RBI double to bring in Starling Marte. Big get some RBIs there. And then, of course, in the seventh inning, tied 4-4, Patrick Mazeika had a solo home run to right going 370 feet. I mean, just the fact that this dude was really able to pull it is just insane. I mean, Mazeika is a very clutch guy, I guess you could say. I mean, listen, I'm not crazy about him. I don't think he's like an MVP. But Mazeika's a very clutch guy. I will say for the Leafs that I think he definitely could have a nice role for this team, debating on what type of role he'd be. But I have no problem with him being, a type of pitch hitter in a situation because he is pretty clutch. Overall for this game, offense did show up. Starling Marte going 3 for 4. He's definitely the MVP of this game, in my opinion, if not Mazeika. He was a home run shy of the cycle. Obviously, Brandon Nimmo getting on some action, Lindor, Alonso. So really good to see the Mets offense kind of step up this game. And getting into game 3 and the final game of this series and the most excruciating game was yesterday's game. We had Carlos Cookie Carrasco on the bump for the New York Mets, and to say for the least, Carrasco did not have a good outing. Carrasco in 4 1/3 innings pitched, surrendering a hit, 4 runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts, only going 77 pitches thrown. Yeah, Carrasco definitely had his fair share of issues. Got through the first inning cleanly. That's great. Unfortunately, he got into a lot of jams. Him and Nito, they were working well. The thing with Carrasco was his command wasn't necessarily there. Kept falling behind in the count. His slider wasn't on point. The split change wasn't really on point. And he got into scenarios where he would have the bases loaded and, Mike Ford up and, he has 2-0 count. And this dude just couldn't find command of the secondary pitches. So he would go out there and throw a fastball just to get the command. Mike Ford demolished that fastball and hit a 2-run RBI single and really got the best of Carrasco. Unfortunate appearance for him. Hopefully his next appearance will be easier and he will bounce back better. Following that, Chasen Shreve came into this game, going an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, 0 walk, strikeout. Unfortunate outing for Shreve. Definitely, going back-to-back outings, getting a little roughed up. It's gonna happen. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, these left-handed pitchers are gonna, never give up runs. That's me lying. But overall, just unfortunate. Following that, Drew Smith came in, and once again, 2 hits and a run. Only going 9 pitches. Only 2 of those were out of the zone. So Unfortunately, this Mariners team was swinging quite a lot. Unfortunate, but hey, listen, it's going to happen. Following that, Dolly Rodriguez came in, 2 innings, 2 hits, a run, 3 strikeouts. That happened. And then Holderman came in. Chris Holderman came in to make his Mets debut, and honestly, he looked pretty good. Though in the ninth inning, only giving up 2 hits and a strikeout. So phenomenal outing there from him. He really did need that outing. Very good to see Adam Holderman there. Fortunately, the offense is where things really are going to get relevant. So getting into this New York Mets offense, starting things off in the first inning, Francisco Lindor had a moonshot second deck solo home run to left field to put the Mets up on the board. Following in the fourth inning, they had a little bit of a rally. J.D. Davis had an RBI triple to bring in Pete Alonso and Mark Canha. Following that, Brandon Nimmo followed back with another RBI triple to bring in J.D. Davis and Eduardo Escobar. So we see back-to-back triples. I can't remember the time the Mets had more than one triple in a game. It was probably like years ago. And I mean, Mets hitting triples at Citi Field is not really an easy thing to say for the least. I mean, maybe if they're in San Francisco and they hit one towards Triples Alley, but the Mets hitting triples is something that is not really that easy. So kudos to the Mets for showing speed on the base pass. And I mean, like, Nimmo and J.D. Davis, they're not like Starling Marte. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, they definitely hustled, but they're not like crazy speed guys. So really impressive to see those two guys really leg out some triples. They definitely did need those. Following that, going into the ninth inning, the Mets down have a score of what would have been 8-5. In the ninth inning, they had a little bit of a rally. Jeff McNeil had an RBI single to right to bring in Eduardo Escobar. Following that, Brandon Nimmo had an RBI double to left to bring in McNeil and Mazika. And then with the bases loaded, 2 outs, a full count, next pitch pretty much determines the game. We had our boy, Big Meat Pete Alonso, come up. And what did he do? He check swung at a ball off the zone, and he was running. Very unfortunate there to see from Alonso. I mean, I honestly thought they were really going to walk it off and come back. I mean, just like an insane ninth inning for the New York Mets. We know that the Mets have been putting up insane ninth inning comebacks this season, but hey, you're not going to get them all. Yeah, we know the Mets had that one against the Cardinals when they were down by 3, against the Phillies when they were down 7, and you thought down by 3-4 runs here, you could have done that. But unfortunately, Alonso check swung. Was not the best of a bat. I'm not going to go all anal about Pete. I think Marte is more to blame because he came up with 1 out, runners on second and third, literally just pop fly in the outfield, get the tying run in. And this dude, struck out on 3 pitches, trying to swing for the fences, being a free swinger. So if any guy I'm going to blame is Marte. I hate to blame him because he literally carried our offense earlier in the game, but yeah, Marte is, of to blame, I think you can say, for that ninth inning. I'll give Pete a little bit of a rest. I get it. He definitely gets a little swing happy. In my opinion, I don't really think Alonso was very clutch. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, he had a walk-off last year and whatever. But hey, listen, what are you going to do? So that was really that. Unfortunate inning overall. I mean, we really hoped the Mets could have came back, but what are you going to do? Baseball isn't always going to win. So Mets lost this game by a score of 8-7. Unfortunate. But now, getting into the New York Mets and the St. Louis Cardinals series, we will have a big series coming up for the New York Mets. The Mets will face the St. Louis Cardinals in a 4-game series at home. Obviously, big thing for the Mets. They are welcoming the St. Louis Cardinals, who were on Sunday Night Baseball last night. And Moon and their offense was on fire. So we'll just hope that their offense is quiet today. That'd be a treat. But we'll see what happens. Getting into game 1 of this 4-game series. Obviously, we will have Trevor Williams on the bump for the New York Mets. Obviously, Williams is not the ideal guy. It is supposed to be Tyler McGill. We know he is on the 15-day IL due to injuries. So, we're just going to have to see how things go ahead for him there. We'll see. Williams on the season, 0-2, 5.73 ERA, 1.64 WHIP, 11 innings, and, of course, 9 strikeouts. Williams, he's all right. I mean, nothing crazy. I'm not expecting crazy. Let him go 2-3 innings, and then, people are saying, hey, why not David Peterson? Well, he pitched on AAA on Friday, so that would not be the 5 days rest. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, only give him 3 days of rest, and you can't really do that to him. Even if he's going an inning, you still can't do that to him. So we'll see how things go Obviously, for the St. Louis Cardinals, they love Miles Michaelis. Solid pitcher, I guess, righty, so that's good. Getting into game 2 of this 4-game set, we will have Taiwan Walker on the bump for the New York Mets. Walker 0-1 on the season, 3.0 ERA, 1.06 WHIP, 18 innings, and of course, 8 strikeouts. Walker's been very impressive coming off a phenomenal start where he only gave up 3 hits in 7 innings. Split change is being really good for him. Last appearance for Walker, we saw plenty of ground balls. The ground ball to fly ball ratio was tremendously favoring the ground ball, and that's what you like to see in a pitcher is keep the ball on the ground. They have above average defense in Escobar, Lindor, McNeil, and I guess adequate defense in Alonso. So do the job there. Let the defense talk. So that's my big thing for Walker. Go 6-7 innings. For the St. Louis Cardinals, we will have a lefty, but it is our former old friend Steven Matz. Currently, Matz, St. Louis isn't treating him super well, I guess. 3-3 on the season, 6.40 ERA, 1.52 WHIP, 32 innings pitched, 37 strikeouts. Long ball has been a little bit of an issue for him. 6 home runs. Walks, not walking many guys, only 8 walks. Strikeouts are obviously there. He's up a lot of light contact, nice slider pitch. Hopefully the Mets can take advantage of that. As stated, he is a lefty, but there's only 2 lefties in the league that the Mets are able to beat up on. Matz and Corbin. So you hope Mets can get something rolling there, against their former New York Met. We know that when Steven Matz came to Citi Field last year with the Blue Jays, we know that the Mets kind of roughed him up. Alonso had a good day off against McNeil. So we'll see what the Mets are going to get, what the Mets are going to be able to do against our former friend Steven Matz. Getting into game 3 of this series, we will have Mad Max Scherzer on the bump for the New York Mets. Obviously, Scherzer 4-1 on the season, 2.66 ERA, 0.91 WHIP, 44 innings pitched. The innings pitched is there for him. Of course, 55 strikeouts, and of course, long ball has been a little bit of a concern for him, but luckily a lot of his home runs are solo shots. He's given up 5 home runs this season. But luckily, they're pretty much all solo shots. So I guess that's kind of a big thing for Scherzer. If he's going to give up a solo home run, just make sure the bases aren't loaded or there's no one on. Otherwise, pretty confident in his ability there. And of course, for the St. Louis Cardinals, they will have Jordan Hicks. Righty, he throws pretty hard, but I'm not very concerned about Jordan Hicks just because the injury concern is there. There's going to be probably innings limited for him. We know he got into a little bit of a command jam last time when facing the Mets, so hopefully we'll see how things can go for him. And of course, getting into game 4 and the final game of this series, we will have Chris Bassitt on the bump for the Mets. Bassitt 4-2 on the season, 2.34 ERA, 1.02 WHIP, 42.1 innings pitched, 46 strikeouts. Phenomenal stats from Chris Bassitt. You hope he can keep up to par numbers against the St. Louis Cardinals team. He's very aggressive, gets out of jams easily, pounds the zone well. I don't know if he'll be working with Nito this game or Mazika. If he is working with Mazika, hopefully they have worked out their little issues with communication on what pitches. I don't know if he's going to use the pitch comp, but we'll see. And then, of course, for the St. Louis Cardinals, they will have Dakota Hudson on the bump for the St. Louis Cardinals. Intriguing pitcher, nothing much crazy to say. So that will be the 4-game set against the New York Mets and the St. Louis Cardinals. Super exciting to see what the Mets can do against this Cardinals team. Keep in mind, the last time they played was just a month ago, and what happened? Well, the Mets got hit 5 times in the 3-game series against the Cardinals, and it ended with Nolan Arenado trying to charge them out against Medina. And, bench clearing brawl is pretty much how this series ended. So I would not be surprised if Arenado is going to hear some boos and heckling from the New York Mets fans, coming this series. But like I said, just win ball games. That's the best revenge, in my opinion. Don't be heckling these guys. Listen, when it comes to Winker, that's just funny. And I like that Winker. He's a cool guy, New York native. I think he likes it. It's a joke. Trust me, I think the Mets should go after Jesse Winker. I don't know what the Mariners are going to look like coming the deadline, but I think they should definitely go after him. And if they do, that would just be so funny. It really, really would. Because I like Winker. I really do think he is a really interesting piece. So we'll see how things can go for the Mets this 4-game series. We'll see. Getting into all of your guys' comments, questions, and concerns. What's going on? David Peterson Fan Club. Baseball is my air. What's happening? Trey, Logan, Seth. Daniel, what's happening? He says the most reliable bullpen arms aside from Diaz. Blew the Mariners series. Yeah, pretty much. Unfortunately, like I said, I think the middle end of this bullpen is a concern down the line. They had a little bit of a good spree like for the past 2 weeks where their bullpen was quiet. Tony Rodriguez pitching well, Drew Smith pitching well. Seth Lugo had like 5 straight good appearances, and then this happened. The bullpen's going to be this inconsistent. They're going to have to look at a big guy down the line. Maybe a call up a guy like Oldman could stay potentially long term. If they want to put David Peterson on this roster for the most part, maybe he could be that lefty that goes out there and eats some innings. Maybe prepare him to be a rotation guy. So, we're honestly going to have to see. I don't know how the Mets are going to handle this bullpen because down the line, it's going to be a little bit of concern. I really will say for the least is a little bit of concern in the back of my head on how the Mets want to handle this bullpen. So I think down the line, they're really going to have to approach it well. Kobe, what's happening? Peter, what's going on? Daniel, what's happening? Marco, what's going on? Trey says this was a good series. There was a lot of drama with Winker and Seawald with the Mets fans, but Mets fans remind me of Mariner fans. They are loyal and devoted to every win. Yeah, like I said, I mean, with Winker, I just think it's hysterical that everyone. I think even Winker loves it. Seawald, listen, the fact that dude said the Mets gave up on him. I mean, not to use basic stats, but if you're posting 5, 6, 7, and a 13 ERA, I think many teams probably would. He obviously developed a lot of new pitches. Change up has been really good for him. So I wish him the best of luck in Seattle. Cal, what's happening? Cal says rough series for the Mets. Game 1 and 3 could have easily been a win, but sadly that's how the game goes. Yeah, I mean, Game 1 could have been a win. You score 7 runs in Game 3 and manage to lose, but you can't score more than 1 in Game 1. So that's baseball. I've expressed on this channel the game is going to be weird like that. That's how it goes. But yeah, like I said, what are you going to do? Kobe says, hello, Hayden. Unfortunate series, but on to the next. Let's take the series against the St. Louis Cardinals. That's all you can ask for. Alex says, I hope Dom Smith and Eduardo Escobar can get their bats going soon because the bottom of the lineup can really use it. Yeah, good to see Escobar, get a walk and triple yesterday. I think he really did need that. I mean, going 1 for his last 23 really is not a good outing. With Escobar, he's not even hitting the ball hard. It's not like Lindor where he's getting unlucky, or like J.D. Davis where they're hitting the ball hard and it's just finding a glove. He's swinging at all these crazy pitches. He's really not putting the ball in play much. He's having that uppercut swing like Dom. So we'll see. He's definitely going to have to try and work something out because Escobar really started off this April really well, walking a lot, great command of the zone, and now he's just swinging at every single pitch, looking crazy. So he's going to have to figure something out. I know that Showalter wants him in this lineup, whether he DHs him or, in my opinion, I think he should really get a day off if this is really going to be I'm not saying it's going to be the reality for him, but I think to the extent I wouldn't be against giving him a couple days off. I think that definitely suit the best for Eduardo Escobar. Coach Dante, what's happening, brother? Appreciate you tuning in. Timothy, what's happening? He says, I thought Diego Castillo blew a save after walking Pete Alonso. Well, unfortunately, he did not get the walk. Trey says Mets definitely need to put together a player with pop. The offense is in a bit of a slump at the moment, but if JD continues to get the bats and he fires up offensively, Davis has been hitting the ball well. I mean, he had 5 straight contact hits where the exit velocity was over 100 miles per hour. I think he's a victim of the dead ball. Like, we've seen him go the opposite way so much in the past, and now he just goes the opposite way, and it's a pop up on the warning track. Dead ball victim, in my opinion. But hey, baseball's a result-oriented game, so what are you going to say? I think if J.D. Davis can get his bat going, I think he could definitely give some type of remedy for this Mets offense. Keep in mind, I think power is something the Mets kind of lack. Besides Pete Alonso, you don't have much power. Yeah, Escobar, but he hasn't really been showing it. We know that Ken has expressed some interest in power, and I think he could be a good overall player to, maybe knock in, 10 to 20 home runs this season. Could be nice for Canna. Like I said, 2019, the Mets had a lot of power on this team. I think the Mets in 2019 had like 6 guys or 5 guys have 20 or more homers. Alonso had 53. McNeil had 25. J.D. Davis had 20-something. Conforto had 30. Rosario had like 15 or something around. Let's look. In 2019, this Mets team had a lot of power. Yeah, maybe the dead ball, the juice ball was of something to talk about. But only what, three guys? Two guys only have five or more homers. Alonso has eight, Lindor has six, Marte and Nimmo have three, Canna has one. Two, and McNeil, McCann, Mazika, Guillorme, and Davis all have one. So you hope this team can get going a little bit more with power, because when it comes to that, it's nice to just have a guy that could just easily clear the bases. It's nice. I think, and the Mets really should use that, kind of to just keep this lineup balanced. You have a mixture of power and a mixture of table setters. I think the Mets need that. Yeah, 2019, Alonso had 53, Conforto had 33, McNeil had 23, Davis had 22, Frazier had 21, Rosario 15, Ramos 14, Cano 13, Smith 11, Nimmo 8. Kagara's 5. Some pitchers had some action. So it just goes to show you the power is something I think the Mets are going to want down the line. Going after a big power bat, I think really should have been addressed this offseason. Unfortunately, it wasn't. I think a lot of people were hoping to get some power out of Dom Smith, and unfortunately, that just isn't really the thing. Dom isn't really giving much power. Not Dom, but Escobar. He's just not really making much contact, so that kind of is unfortunate. Slot him behind Pete. So slot JD Davis behind Pete and Escobar. Behind JD, the NL rivals have better power with protection. Yeah, exactly. Behind Pete, what protection does he have? I wouldn't mind McNeil hitting behind him, but otherwise, Pete needs some protection in this lineup. Alonso, if he bats fourth or even third, he's going to need someone behind him that is also a guy that says, okay, we don't want to walk Alonso because this guy is up after him, whether that's an Escobar or McNeil, whoever. Daniel says, I hope I eat my words later, but Trevor Williams starting tonight, I have confidence in us winning. Williams, last appearance, 3 2/3 in the bullpen, and he didn't give up a run. So we'll see. Confidence. Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully he can pitch well. Give me 3 innings, play the bullpen. I know the bullpen's been a little bit of worry. Mets don't have an off day for a while, so you're going to be looking at your roster a lot. You're going to be moving guys up and down. Holderman's probably going to get sent down, maybe. Maybe you call up David Peterson in a day or two. AAA is going to be busy. Connor, what's going on? Connor says it was a good game. Mariners made a really gutsy call in the ninth, making that pitch change to Castillo, and he paid him back by clutching it after him. Yeah, pretty much. I thought walking the door would have been crazy. But knowing Alonso, yeah, he has been much better with the chase rate, but unfortunately that was not the thing for Alonso yesterday, unfortunately. Timothy says, should the Mets trade Trevor Williams and prospect Alex Ramirez to the Mariners for Adam Frazier? Yeah, Alex Ramirez has really been looking pretty well down in A-ball. I think in Florida, he's really hitting well. Definitely, I think could have the potential of being a good outfielder for the Mets. Could obviously play a corner position, depending on if he's growing or not in his size. Definitely has the potential to play any 3 outfield positions. I wouldn't really want the Mets to trade away their outfield depth because they don't have a lot, especially with Khalil Lee struggling. They don't really have a lot of outfield depth in the farm. Carlos Cortez, okay. And then, that's really, got rid of PCA. You'd like some more depth in this Mets farm system. So, for outfield depth. Because, all your, big guys, catcher, third base, Alvarez is the catcher, Beatty's a third baseman, Mauricio is the third baseman or shortstop. Unless they want to start training Mauricio to play outfield, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. Mark Vientos, likely a DH. I doubt he'll ever get any outfield reps. So Mets really do need some outfield depth in the farm for outfield prospects. So we'll see. Peter, what's going on? Peter says that Mazika home run was insane. I was at Citi Field for it, and the stadium was electric and loud. Love the vibes there. Yeah, that's really cool, man. I can tell you, everyone was chanting, let's go Mets. The vibes were insane. I know that George Kirby's whole family was there, and you could hear them, chanting for him. So the Mets fans had to bounce back and show them this is Mets land, not Mariners land. So we have to overpower them in terms of volume. Daniel says, I know no team is perfect, but the Mets offense and bullpen frustrates me at We definitely need a power bat with two more relievers. 100%, man. I'm not disagreeing. I think very frustrating right now. The series, I think, easily could have been swept. I mean, game one, you could have easily won, scored one more run or two more runs. In game three, yesterday, literally came down to one pitch. So overall, unfortunate. I will say for the least for the Mets, yesterday's outing really unfortunate. Yeah, bullpen needs to be addressed. I mean, Holderman, hopefully he could be a nice addition. Maybe you put David Peterson in a bullpen role. When DeGrom comes back, I think that could be big. Maybe you put McGill or Walker in that sixth bullpen role. I think Joey Lucchesi should be coming back like August, so towards that playoff push could be big. I don't know how much you're going to invest in Lucchesi coming back from Tommy John and that weird windup. So we'll see. Yeah, you're definitely going to need to go after a big power bat and probably multiple bullpen arms. Marco says, hey, Hayden, too bad we couldn't take the series, but it's not like we were going to win every series, though. Yeah, exactly. Mets weren't going to win every single series. The Mets will get revenge against the Mariners in the 2022 World Series. All right. It's a good hot take. Kobe says, Brandon Nimmo is going to be an elite player this season. His approach at the plate has just been crazy. Yeah, this dude has been on fire to say the least. I mean, let me pull up some of these dude's stats. He isn't walking a lot, which is insane. He's just putting the ball in play, and I think that's going to be insane for Brandon Nimmo down the line. Is he's not putting the ball in play a lot. I mean, taking a look at Brandon Nimmo these last 7 games, he's been phenomenal. I think having like a 25-something on base streak, an 11-game hit streak. The last 7 games, Nimmo is batting .423 with an OBP of .516 and a slugging of .615. 11 hits, 3 RBIs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. Phenomenal. We've been seeing Nimmo get a lot of 1-2 counts, and he's able to work it. He somehow gets on base with a walk, occasionally hit by pitch, beats the shift, put the ball in the opposite field. Nimmo is putting up phenomenal numbers. I mean, it was huge this Mariners series. It was huge. Collecting 3 RBIs in yesterday's game and 5 hits in the 3-game set against the Mariners. Only striking out twice. So just phenomenal outing there from Nimmo. Nimmo won the season is batting .304. Love to see him batting over 300. OPS of .887. Hopefully he could be a 900 OPS guy. That could be phenomenal if he can. And I mean, 3 homers, 12 RBIs in the leadoff spot. That's pretty darn good. I know like 8-9 hitters haven't been crazy. If you have like a Nito or Yorme or Smith there, it's not a whole lot of protection, but he's still doing something. And he could have got his 4th homer yesterday. That ball hit to straight center. Easily should have been gone, but the dead ball got him. Alex says, I'm sure you heard about the Reds no-hitter. So should Hunter Green's no-hitter count? I mean, it's weird because they lost. So only the 2022 Reds would have that. But, yeah, I mean, I don't honestly see the reason why it shouldn't count. I think in reality it should be a no-hitter. It's not his fault that his offense couldn't do anything for him. But, hey, I mean, I think that's everything with baseball is, the offense can't. The offense is going to have to bail you out to the extent. That's baseball. So we'll see how things go. A quick weather alert. It says messy forecast tonight as a line of strong to severe thunderstorms will move through the area this evening. As of now, my thinking is that they are going to play after a delay. However, there is a risk of postponement. So I live in Florida. As you can tell, it's very sunny out. To the extent, whatever. So let's see how the weather is in New York. 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. Yeah, I think a delay is likely. I mean, the rain should stop by 9. I don't know if they're down to play a 9 o'clock game. I mean, you do have a 7-game tomorrow, so you can do that. So we'll see. That could always be something to look into. Timothy says, will Starling Marte be the leadoff hitter next year if Brandon Nimmo signs somewhere else? I mean, yeah, but I don't see Nimmo leaving. They're going to keep Nimmo. Nimmo likes it here. I don't care. He's a Boris guy. Cohen's going to give him honestly what he wants. Not to sound like basic, but yeah. Galapos says, who are the Mets' biggest threat in the NL East? Probably the Braves or Phillies. I mean, Phillies have been hot. We'll see if their bats can keep it up. Braves have been hot. So obviously those two teams pretty much. Cal says, think the Mets should keep David Peterson in a bullpen spot. 100%. I'm always big on keeping, your younger guys in a bullpen role. Let them develop like the Brewers did with Burns and Woodruff, and then you put them in the rotation when they're ready. And even if not, I think he's a lefty. Mets need some lefty help in the bullpen. I mean, yeah, you got Shreve, okay, but still nice to have. So I definitely wouldn't be against Peter says, I think the loss of McCann for 6 weeks is going to be brutal. I like Zika, but we saw he struggles behind the plate with communications and types of pitches. Yeah, 100%. So honestly, we're just gonna have to see how things go ahead for the Mets and Patrick Zika. Hopefully, I'm not worried about that little mess up with communication. I don't know what the point of the pitch com would be to an extent. I mean, so we'll honestly have to see how things go ahead for the New York Mets there with James McCann. But yeah, who'd have thought the McCann loss would be really huge. Yeah, I mean, McCann honestly really has been much better defensively. Daniel says, really regret Mets not going after Bryant instead of Escobar. I mean, I don't think Bryant's been doing much better, but Nimmo has been on fire lately. I love that dude, 100%. I met him this spring training, so hopefully maybe I woke him up. I told him, I was like, Nimmo, you're going to make your first All-Star appearance. And he chuckled. He's trying to prove me right. How much more time does Dom Smith get before he gets sent down to the minors? If that happens, that would be really sad. I'm thinking, I would hate to really send him down to AAA. I think that would really be bad. I mean, having Cano gone and then have him sent down to AAA, that would really be something really weary. Okay, yeah, my audio works. Just making sure. Yeah, that would really be bad. That really would. Yeah, I mean, we'll honestly have to see. Mets injuries are starting to show up like last year. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's only 2 months, and you only had McGill and McCann. I mean, DeGrom was before the season, so yeah. Tracer surprised the Padres want Cano. Guess they want a veteran guy in a full-time DH instead of moving their bench around every day. Well, yeah, that's what the Padres are doing. They don't really have a full-time DH. I mean, they're putting like Austin Nola, Jurickson Profar. They're putting all of their bench pieces in a DH role, and they're really not getting much production out of it. So Padres are thinking, okay, I believe the Mets are eating like $37 million of his contract, so they don't really have to pay a lot. So it doesn't really hurt. I mean, he went 0 for 4 yesterday. I think he had 2 strikeouts and 2 lines out. Had a defensive error to score a run, so we'll see how things go there. Cal says, any news on DeGrom? This team would be insane with his presence. Yeah, I know that he is starting light little workouts. I don't know when he's going to throw off a slope or a mound, but hopefully we can get him back July. That would really be big. Alex says MLB is definitely screwing with the balls. Last night's ESPN game had them. Mets are getting the worst of the dead balls. Hopefully when they go to Colorado next week, they can smash to the same thing. When they go to Colorado, they can get the offense alive. I agree with you. It is really frustrating. Mets need to address the middle of their bullpen, 100%. I did talk about that. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's depending to see what certain teams are looking like. Coming the deadline. I mean, maybe a guy like Marco Lanson could be up talk. To come here, I think. Like I said, it really depends what teams are in contention and what teams are not. The A's are always a good team. Connor says, really love Buck Showalter. He's changed the attitude of this team, and you can see it. Yeah, absolutely. From around the clubhouse is looking good. Elliot, what's going on? He says, let's go Blue Jays, indeed. I've been saying since the season started, the middle of the relief is a huge problem that needs to be fixed, 100%. Jolie Rodriguez is proving himself to be a good bullpen fit. Speaking of which, Aaron Luke isn't the same with the Angels. Yeah, I saw you a lot of couple weeks ago. Galapos' most disturbing this weekend was pitching. Bullpen is in pretty bad shape. Yeah, pretty much. Sorry if it seems like I'm rushing through these. I got to bounce down in 5 minutes. So that's kind of why I want to get everyone's comments through. Dented balls is really giving the Mets a hard time. So many balls just stayed away in the warning track. McNeil, Nimmo, Alonso, Davis, Rob homers this series. I couldn't agree with you anymore, man. It really is frustrating. It really is. Like I said, Colorado, yeah, get all the homers out there. What should the Mets do with Dom Smith, says Peter? And that's a good question. I mean, as of right now, what the Mets' future with Dom Smith is, if you're not going to use him in certain roles, would he be in a trade package? I mean, that Hosmer trade, Chris Paddock and Eric Hosmer to the Mets for Dom Smith, that's looking pretty good. We'll see. LFGM, absolutely. I think the Mets will call up Alvarez. Not now. So I really appreciate you guys for tuning in to today's stream. I know it kind of seemed like I rushed through a lot of the comments towards the end. My apologies. I got to go to work at 12:30. Got to head out in 5 minutes. Quick announcement. I do want to state I will be going to the Marlins game tomorrow. I will, because I live in Florida. I live an hour from Miami. So I will be going to the Washington Nationals versus the Miami Marlins game. So I'm super excited for that. That's going to be a phenomenal game. I'll definitely take some pictures and share them with you guys. Super, super, super excited to go to. It's always just exciting to go to a non-Mets game because you don't have to worry. So really exciting to see out of that. But before we leave, please everyone smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, tell your friends about this channel. If you're watching this on replay, kudos to you for staying for the whole stream. You should get a medal. I really do appreciate the rest of you guys tuning in to today's stream. As always, really do appreciate it as always. LFGM, let's get something rolling. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Till next time, baseball fans, see ya.